Congresswoman Kat Cammack, Republican from Florida, serves on the subcommittee of the weaponization of the federal government and the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Great to see you today. Wish it were always under different circumstances when we're talking about anti-Americanism, because that's what this is, too. This is American hate, too.
No, absolutely. I mean, Harris, we're seeing this. These are professional protesters. To assume that this is all students and not a mix of students and professional protesters would be a mistake. These people have a financial, a fiduciary aspect to what they're doing. They find glory in objecting. And when you see some of the professors that are engaged in this, we of course know that they are the ones that were protesting on campuses decades ago. These are the people that read Rules for Radicals, and they've carried this mentality throughout their careers. But this is a financial gain at the end for these people. And we know that it's not just Israel that they're targeting, right? It's not just the Jewish communities that they're spouting vitriolic and hatred towards. It's America, right? Because they see us as the big Satan, in their own words. They were just hosting workshops in these encampments yesterday talking about the glory of North Korea. I mean, my God, Harris, now they're espousing the gloriousness of North Korea. These people need to get a clue. And I know you've heard me say it. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. These students and these professors, they're about to win the lottery when it comes to stupid prizes.
What can Congress do?
Listen, I think we start with defunding these universities that tolerate this kind of BS. When you have students that are being physically assaulted, intimidated, prohibited from going to class, they're canceling graduations, this is a total assault on American students, on Israelis, on Jewish American students. It's unacceptable. We have the power of the purse. We have to exercise it. A resolution is a good start condemning this type of behavior, but we need to actually wield the power of the purse and pull back all the funding for these universities.
I thought it was interesting that Mayor Muriel Bowser, and by the way, GW is not that far from the White House, so how the president doesn't see this or comment specifically on this, I just boggles the mind. But D.C.'s mayor said that, you know, it's all in the name of safety. How in the world is it safe to let complete unvetted strangers onto college campuses, onto GW and others across America? How is that even safe? I mean, I'm surprised these parents haven't begun to sue. I'd want a refund.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of these parents are actually making those considerations and having those discussions around the kitchen table. Think of how much college is these days.
Well,
you're looking at
these.
6 figures. Exactly, you're looking at 6 figures, and there's no way that parents are going to tolerate their child going to a university where they are denied access to facilities, continually targeted, harassed, hazed, and bullied, and in some cases outright assaulted. That's just not going to happen. So I think parents have an absolute right to take legal action, and they should. Again, I look to Florida and how we have handled these situations. There is zero tolerance. And if these universities took that position, they would be in a much better place today.
Well, and you make a good point. It's not just Jewish students. It's not just enough that hate is flowing, but it's everybody is put off by all of this. When they cancel graduation at USC, they cancel it for everybody. All right, let's get to this. The Department of Education is circulating a Dear Colleague letter to schools on how to deal with surging anti-Semitism, giving examples of what schools should do if students report being harassed. Here's the new guidance, Congresswoman. And it's being sent on the same day as Education Secretary Miguel Cardona testified on the Hill. Let's watch.
Do you condemn the illegal activities and anti-Semitic and discriminatory speech we have seen over the last several weeks on college campuses?
I do.
Do you want to have the taxpayers pay their loans off?
I believe that students who are breaking the law and are disrupting the educational environment should be held to account.
Mr. Secretary, you're not willing to condemn calls to cut ties with Hillel? Will you condemn that, yes or no?
We are responsible for adhering to Title VI and enforcing it.
Title VI. I mean, I've been saying that for weeks. They're just now getting around to it.
It's unbelievable, Harris. You know what's funny is the last 2 times that I have seen this Secretary of Education has been at rap concerts. He seems to spend more time at these fun activities than actually doing his job. And you can see from evidence of that video that he is ill-equipped and ill-prepared to address the real challenges that we're facing in higher education today. The fact remains that when you have a commander-in-chief who refuses to outright condemn the anti-Semitism that is taking place and has to include other elements in that statement, it's going to bleed down into his cabinet. We know that they will not take a stand on this because this is political. He is a political appointee, and at the end of the day, this is about dollars, it's about votes, and that's why they refuse to take a stand.
Well, they should change their name from the Department of Education to something else then, because education is in jeopardy through the entire process as these schools are canceling things and finals and, oh, just give everybody a pass grade. I mean, it's ridiculous. Another censure resolution for far-left Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Republican colleague Don Bacon cited her long history of anti-Semitic remarks. His resolution focused on these comments that got a lot of backlash.
Kids should be kept safe, and that we should not have to tolerate anti-Semitism or bigotry for all Jewish students, whether they are pro-genocide or anti-genocide.
And her fellow far-left member, Rashida Tlaib, is making this demand. I urge the International Criminal Court to swiftly issue arrest warrants for Netanyahu and senior Israeli officials to finally hold them accountable for this genocide, as is obviously warranted by these well-documented violations under international law. A dozen Republican senators have a warning for the ICC. Such actions are illegitimate and lack legal basis. Target Israel, and we will target you. Congresswoman.
There's so much hot tea here, Harris, that I want to spill. You know, let's talk about the Democrat caucus first. They have a very, very big problem. Behind closed doors, they were screaming at each other just a couple weeks ago about, what are you going to defend my people? That was coming from Rashida Tlaib. Now, my question is, who are her people? Did she not take an oath to the United States Constitution? Is she more loyal to Palestine than she is the American people? These are the things that people should be asking her, and that's happening behind closed doors. They're trying desperately to keep their caucus together, but it's about to spill out into the open. On the second part about the International Criminal Court, this is absolutely unacceptable and it's disgusting. Where are they when it comes to the active genocide, the real genocide that is taking place in China? What about North Korea, Venezuela, Iran? Are they now going to become the mouthpiece for the largest state sponsor of terror, Iran? That is what this is teeing up to, and shame on them for ever considering South Africa's petition. This is absolutely ludicrous. They need to get their stuff straight. I am telling you, there will be swift backlash here on Capitol Hill when it comes to the International Criminal Court if they don't back down.
Well, you spilled it, and that tea was hot about those Democrats fighting behind the scenes. I appreciate you always. Thank you, Congresswoman Cammack.
Appreciate you, Harris. Have a good one.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.